is dead.
This is all fake. It's all constructed on behalf of Israel, and in the idea of like presenting, some sort of like structure to this. All of it is fake. It's completely fake. I mean, and you can kind of like get this from most of the Trump administration. In fact, and I'm trying to find it right now.
Yep, that's it. That's it. Do you prefer the puppet on my right hand or the puppet on my left hand? That's all this is. You're voting for the same shit, America. I don't know how to break this to you. We're the same up here in Canada. In fact, we're way worse because like just voting records alone, it's like it's so obvious it's just the same two parties. But yeah.
So here, and this is one of the problems with AI, right? So if anyone is familiar, in the last recent week, we got what is called the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation to hand out aid in the form of like literally a concentration camp for handing out aid to starving children and Gazans who are desperately needing this. Yeah, here we go.
As in like tens of thousands of people.
Yeah, tens of thousands. And in order to get this food, by the way, you have to literally line up in a caged concentration camp.
Yep. Yep.
Like this is in order to get food. You have to get a concentration camp style aid distribution.
They have to go through all this just to eat. Sorry, getting a little heated, gonna try and control it. DBT and all that. They have to do all this just to get a basic requirement for survival. That's it. Imagine having to go through this shit just for the privilege of eating food. Sorry. Like this just keeps getting more fucked. I don't know what else to say. Anyway.
Hold on. So they came out. They so far have 3 different aid distribution centers, and one of them on the very first day of releasing aid, collapsed into the ground.
Okay.
And this is what happens when you have a controlled siege by Americans. It's literally controlled starvation in the form of humiliation.
I think what it is.
This is what happens when you try to manage a siege, manage starvation with checkpoints and American mercenaries. They're not even, and I can't find it now, but there's pictures of them at like Israeli press briefings. So clearly, like this is Israel backed. This is the Gaza Aid Foundation. They're backed by Israel. They're backed by the Americans. Obviously, they were founded back in February. And
honestly, man, I'm way more cynical than that. I think this is all just don't shoot, y'all. But I'm going to come with the real dark take here. I think this whole thing is just fucking PR. I think they are completely committed to a man-made famine, a constructed starvation campaign. And all this is for, because they could just give them the food. They don't need any of this, right? Occam's razor, the simplest.
No, you could easily get an NGO or let the Red Cross or anyone in there, but instead of doing that, we had the Gaza Foundation, the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, who was formerly, led by Jake Wood on back in February, right, in order to provide aid to starving children. And this organization was so bad and so astroturfed that the lead person who was the person who was leading this group literally had to resign, citing lack of humanity. Would not abandon principles of humanity, impartiality, and independence. This is a group that is literally condemned by the UN and several different international organizations.
Yeah. And that's all you need to know.
This is a front. This is absolutely a front. And if you don't think it's a front, they came out with, so there's this video. Here's this Daily Wire reporter, right? And there's this video that was circulating like 2 days ago of like Palestinians like supposedly screaming, "Thank you, America," right? Oh, thank you so much, America. Thank you. Thank you to the American military trained mercenaries who are handing out this precious food for us. But, like, are Palestinians really that thankful? Because this video, do you think this video is real?
No.
It's not.
Of course it isn't. I already saw several artifacts.
It's AI. That video is AI.
Yeah, of course it is. Because, again, this is all just PR.
This is a PR stunt. If it's not obvious to you at this point, they literally had to generate a fucking AI video of starving Palestinians saying "Thank you, America."
Yep, because unless we do something, unless there's some kind of intervention here, once this bloody chapter of our history turns its final page, okay? Once it turns its final page, they'll at least be able to say, well, we tried. Well, we tried to help. Well, we did X, we did Y. This is all just PR for what is going on there at this point. Everybody is washing their hands of it. And as many others have stated, in 5 years, everyone will be saying they were against this. Let me say that again. In 5 years, everyone will say they were against this. I'm not talking about just normal people. I am saying everybody. Even the people.
Yeah, I agree.
Even the people who are defending this the fucking loudest right now. Even the people who are popping off every single Hosmer talking point. Everybody, except for Ethan Klein, will be... Got him! Probably. Everyone will be... Even Ben Shapiro. Everyone will be saying they were against this. Everyone will be saying this was a tragedy. How could we have let this happen? And God bless the internet, because we'll have those receipts to remind them. Oh, no. Back in November 2023, you're pretty all on board for Israel just going ahead with everything, weren't you? Or yeah, you were talking about Hamas and like releasing the hostages when people were like really upset over like children starving to death. You remember that? But everybody will be saying they were against this. Bet on that.
Yeah, we're at the point where we literally have to share AI generated videos in order to boost PR for the American government, who is facilitating and signing off on all of this. Mm-hmm. It's gotten so bad, and so like to put it like these are American mercenaries. They're shooting at the Palestinians after this after this collapse. This one of the distribution points collapsed. They're shooting at them, and then they're also firing stun grenades.
هيو كمان. الله يفضح عرضكم عرض الكابونات.
This is American aid distribution. This is how it works.
الله يسخطك. الله سوالك يا عم محمد بارمانا. طولش يا خال. الله يسخطك. الله الله يقلب الحق. سوالك يا عم محمد بارمانا.
And guys, this is what happens. This is simply what happens when you do controlled starvation through checkpoints and American mercenaries instead of like a regular NGO or a humanitarian organization.
Yeah, again, they could just give them the fucking food. They could just give them the fucking food.
No, just give them the fucking food. And this is literally a controlled siege based on, quote unquote relief, where it's just pure humiliation.
It's just,
if you guys remember, do you remember the quote unquote humanitarian pier that Joe Biden built in order to hand out aid to Gazans? And it was filled with the American military who were shooting at Palestinians. And it literally, like within a few weeks, it almost immediately, it collapsed into the fucking ocean. It was so bad that it collapsed into the ocean.
Is that? Is that not the perfect summary of the Joe Biden presidency?
Guys, this is not aid. This is not aid. This is controlled deprivation with a PR team.
Yeah,
that's what this is.
It's just like it's all of this is just done so that people have a pushback. So when they see tons of starving children, when they see people dying in mass, when we continue to see the live streamed Holocaust on our feeds, they can say, well, we're doing a thing. We did a thing. That's why Joe Biden did that. He's like, well, I'm trying to help. Make no mistake. The United States of America could end this in 24 hours if they wanted to. Easily.
That's why, like, it's important to know, like, instead of stepping back in any sort of shame, what the United States is doing now is that they're doubling down by building checkpoints that collapse immediately, staging grounds, and then arming the relief operation. They're shooting at them. They're shooting at them and like throwing stun grenades at them.
Which again, that's not a good strategy for feeding people. If your actual objective is to feed people, you probably shouldn't open fire on them.
No, this is not an aid center. These are military outposts. Because this is permanent infrastructure that's inside Gaza that is quote unquote to like manage distribution, but it's not in partnership with any sort of international organization, but it's completely coordinated with Israeli forces who are currently occupying it and talking about how they want to take over the land. It's soft annexation. If it's not, then what else is it? You put armed contractors in place of these U.S. and Israeli intelligence facilities that are operating in joint coordination, and they're not accountable to any sort of independent humanitarian law. It's when you put a gun next to a stack of rice, is that aid?
Nope.
That's colonial rationing. That means if you shoot the crowd, if when they get too hungry, that's what that means. It's political control. If you can't see that, then you're beyond help at this point, because this is not only a massive failure, but it's not meant to be a success. That's the thing. It's the same thing with, again, the quote unquote like Gaza pier. These are military outposts. These are not distribution centers. These are military outposts so that they can slowly annex the land, because they can't just go in and take over. That they would face a massive backlash from international organizations, which they still do. But you need a soft in the disguise of aid in order to take over the biopolitical control. And it's not just that, because guys, the aid itself, they're not getting any water. There's no drinks. It's all dry food. And you have to remember, because most of Gaza's water is contaminated. The infrastructure is all bombed. Desalination plants are down. There's sewage everywhere.
Filled with disease, all that shit.
They don't have clean water. None of them have clean water. And you know what they're getting instead? They're getting cooking oil.
Earl's got it.
It's being used as a weapon, and you know what they're doing? They're contaminating it with several diseases, like polio. We have articles in that too. I think we covered that briefly.
Sorry, BRB.
But so what they're doing is they're purposely poisoning them slowly. They put polio in the water as a weapon. It's biological warfare. There's nothing else to call this. And it's not strategic. This is literally biopolitical control. If you can't even put fucking water in the packages, like clapping for throwing in a protein bar, starving children. But this is the new model, guys. This is the new model. It's not just one pier or one fund or an aid convoy. You just bomb a place into collapse. You destroy its civil infrastructure, so much so that it's literally undrinkable. Then you poison it with water, with polio. No, thank you. Please don't. Then you poison it with polio, right? And then you have a PR front for long-term occupation. You have any questions? Do you have any questions? Don't worry. You can email them. They have an email. Don't worry, guys. If you have any questions about this, about the manufactured desperation that's going on, you can just send them an email.
Yeah, the address is genocide at we'redefinitelydoingaid.com. It's yeah. So I don't mean to be like a black pillar, but I also feel a moral and ethical obligation to manage people's expectations. It's the empath in me, I guess. Because I don't want people to get their hopes up and then have their hearts crushed any more than they already have been, because all of our hearts have been crushed. But just don't remain vigilant, remain critical. Okay?
Guys, it's don't worry. It's not political control. It's not manufactured desperation. If you think that this is charity as humiliation, like sending them fucking cooking oil instead of water. Listen, if you have any questions, you can just email them. Just send them an email.
I understand this is the beginning of a process. For the time being, the delivery of food is at two places, which is Tal Sultan and the Murag crossing. Is this any guarantee that people who come from the north to receive this food, are they allowed to go back? Because that's the fear, that basically this is a way to move the population from the north to the south. And do you have any plan that they will expand it to go to other places?
Well, it's not
north?
this again. This is not a State Department effort. Yeah. We don't have a plan.
They don't have a plan. We just don't have a plan.
They have concepts. Greg.
It's concepts of a plan.
Concepts of a plan.
We don't have a plan. We have concepts of a plan.
Trump told us, okay? God.
The nature of how certain situations would be responded to. I'm not going to speculate or say what they should or should not do. The Gaza Humanitarian Foundation has an email. They should be reached out to, and that's what I recommend regarding plans to expand, plans to make assessments of what's worked and what hasn't.
You have any questions?
I've worked.
Just send them an email. Send them an email.
I've worked in support for too long to not recognize exactly what the fuck this is. This is thank you for your feedback. We cherish you sharing your thoughts, and it's just going to go into a fucking void. They're just going to have an email that nobody ever checks, like ever. And it's just going to be like a fake like pressure valve that everybody can just vent their frustrations into. Nobody's ever going to check that email. That email, I'm going to bet, no, there will not be a single response from that email.
It's a suggestion box. It's literally a suggestion box. If you have any questions about the American mercenaries that are not held accountable by any sort of international law, shooting at innocent Palestinians who are starving and trying to get aid. If you have any questions about that, just send them an email. Shoot them an email. See what happens.
Yeah.
Put a little slip in the suggestion box. That's all. They have an email, guys.
Of how certain situations would be responded to. I'm not going to spend. This is not a State Department effort. Yeah. We don't have a plan. I can't answer that regarding the nature of how certain situations would be responded to. I'm not going to speculate or say what they should or should not do. The Gaza Humanitarian Foundation has an email.
You can email them. Don't worry. Stop worrying. They have an email. Send them an email.
Our politicians are doing strongly worded letters right now, and you can write your own strongly worded letter to this email address. We live in a fucking parody of an actual society. We live in a parody. This is just clown shoe city. I don't know how else to quantify any of this. This is beyond parody at this point.
No, it's actually really bad.
We have an email.
We have an email, guy. Relax. There's an email. You can email them.
What is my email going to do, sir or madam?
Guys, and if you're if you happen to be a Zionist, which I doubt you're watching this, if you're a rabid Zionist, if you think that you're on the right side of this, ask Cindy McCain. Cindy fucking McCain.
Bro, if you lost Cindy McCain, I'm sorry. I don't know what to say.
It's over. If you lost Cindy McCain, if you're at the point where you're losing Cindy fucking McCain, the widow of the most rabid Zionist senator in probably the last few decades, you're lost. You're lost. You're not even at this. You're not at the point where you're able to accept any of this.
Dude, at this point, Adolf Hitler would probably be like, okay, this is, I don't know. This is a little.
Yeah, you know what? You
much.
probably shouldn't send the State Department an email because they'll probably like deport you or some shit.
It's probably a honeypot, to be honest, because look at what the states are doing right now to people.
Yeah,
They're
no,
like,
they're
if you have a
literally
problem,
deporting you. If you have a green card, don't email them. Do not fucking email that. Do not email the Gaza Foundation.
yeah, if you have an issue with the genocide we're helping with, please email your SIN number.
Put it in the suggestion box.
Watch
if you have a problem with the genocide, just put it in the suggestion box and everything will be okay. All right.
Please add your SIN number, your home address, your full name.
We have an email.
And the disinformation police will just shoot you in the fucking head.
They have an email. Relax. Just put it in the suggestion box.
Fuck.
If you can't go beyond this because you already lost Cindy McCain. To be fair, she's been kind of like, she worked for the World like Food Organization or something, so like she's kind of been like on the right side of this for like a while. But like,
this is mind-blowing.
This is the widow of one of the most rabid Zionist senators in the last few decades.
Yeah. I can't hear anything.
You can't hear anything?
No.
All right, let's run that back again.
Said that the looting
What about now?
Yep.
Okay.
is. Your organization announced at least 15 of your trucks were looted when they entered southern Gaza en route to bakeries. Israel has consistently said that the looting is being carried out by Hamas. Have you seen evidence that it is Hamas stealing the food?
No, not at all. Not in this round. Listen, these people are desperate, and they see a World Food Program truck coming in, and they run for it. This doesn't have anything to do with Hamas or any kind of organized crime or anything. It has simply to do with the fact these people are starving to death. And so we will continue to go in. We will continue to go in with food and the kinds of supplies that we need to help the bakeries operate and make sure that we can continue to do that and hopefully be able to do more of it. But again, we can't do this unless the world community puts pressure on this. We can't be allowed to sit back and watch these people starve to death with no outside diplomatic influence to help us. These poor souls are really, really, really desperate. And, having been in a food riot myself some years ago, I understand the desperation very well.
You lost Cindy McCain. Sorry, guys. Sorry. It's over. It's over. You can't go past this at this point. It's so over.
I'm gonna call this. I'm gonna call this. At one point, even Ben Shapiro is gonna be like, okay, this is fucked. At one point, even he's gonna be like, okay, this is a little much. Okay, nobody said anything, and he won't be like, he's a reprehensible little fucking gremlin. But even at some point, even the Zionists are going to start being like, I don't know about this. Like we said, at some point, everyone is going to be like, no, this was objectively bad. This was awful. But we're in that weird period now where the tide is starting to turn. And again, I hate to be a black pillar, but I keep going back to, is the tide turning because this is actually a good thing, or is the tide turning because it's fucking too late? Sorry, I hate to be that guy, but I gotta say it. Is the tide turning because it is too late and this is going to be completed, and this is everybody just covering their hides after they ran cover for this shit while we were all screaming at the top of our lungs for 20 fucking months?